Hey there, everybody. Today I thought we would talk about modifying handguns, specifically adding more texture to the grip of a gun. So, where this came from, I got to thinking the other day. Over the last several years, as we have been teaching more and more principle based approaches to shooting, and our students have started to understand uh, more and more how important the connection to the gun is. What I mean by that is how important it is that the gun stays attached to your hands during the shooting process and it doesn't slide around inside. As understanding has improved with that, so has the requests from students to modify their guns to add additional texture to their frame. Like it's almost like a one-to-one. Like the more and more people who understand it, the better they understand it. Then after a little while, they're like, well, is there a way I can make my gun a little easier to hang on to? So generally when that happens, the easy answer is to send them to either Talon or Handleit grips. And those are essentially pre-cut skateboard tape type grips. So they're already laser cut to the shape of the grip of whatever gun you're going to be shooting. They come as like one wraparound piece. You clean up the grip, take the sticky piece off, wrap it around, like you'd wrap it around the gun, and then heat it up and stick it on. And then it's just like it's in all the places you want, and it's in none of the places you don't. And it gives you additional texture, and like you're off and running. And it works relatively well. The issue I have had with it, and some of the people that I've seen attempt to use it, is after a little while, the grips don't stay stuck as well as we would like. Maybe the corners peel up, or in my case, it always seems to be the support side panel will slide a little bit or bunch as it kind of gets pushed towards the muzzle side of the gun. And I've had some people at work have the same issue. Um, I will say that not to crap on Handleit or Talon grips and say that their products are bad. I just not had a lot of luck, and I've seen some people have similar results as me. I've also seen many people, and I've talked to people who shoot a bunch, and they've had great luck. They're like, yep, you prep it the right way with alcohol, you make sure the grip's good and clean, you heat it up after you put it on, make sure you smash it all in, blah, blah, blah. And for whatever reason, it's like it stays stuck and they have no problems. I have followed the exact same steps as they have told me, kind of the exact same procedure. And for whatever reason, I don't seem to have the same luck. I don't know why. So the next step up the rung seems to be silicone carbide. So with silicone carbide, how you would do that is you would take some tape and you would tape off everywhere you don't want texture to be. So like all this area up here, all this area around the magazine release, this back here, kind of up where you'd want your web of your thumb to go. You tape all that off. Then you would take some kind of 2-part epoxy and you would paint all of that on around the grip where you want the grippy stuff to go. Then you take the silicone carbide, which is basically just the gritty part of sandpaper when it's not attached to the paper, and you sprinkle it on all over the place, sort of like you were doing glitter and glue arts and crafts from preschool. It's essentially the same thing. In fact, it's even sparkly, just like the glitter. But you sprinkle it on in all those places, and then you let your epoxy set up. And then once it's set up and it hardens, that epoxy is captured in the glue, and now this is permanently attached, and you've got like a really gritty, grippy surface to grab onto, and it works fantastic. However, it is definitely a permanent modification to the gun. It's not really designed to come off. If you are in a place where they issue you a gun for work, they might feel a certain kind of way about that. Some people, even if it is their own gun, they're not really willing to do that because it's a pretty high commitment level of modification, and I totally get that. I've also tried varying levels or varying types of skateboard tape. I've been to all the skate shops and bought big skate, like the type of grippy deck tape that goes on the top of skateboards, and I've cut out my own panels and tried to put them on. I've tried to apply them with super glue and other types of glue, and for whatever reason, the edges always peel up at some point. Usually within a week or two, they just come right off or they start to slide. But recently, a friend of mine was telling me to try Gorilla Glue brand Stair-Tread tape. So it's the grippy stuff you apply to stairs for safety so they're not slippery. And I told him, I said, I've already tried all the tread tape stuff. He goes, no, you don't understand. This stuff's different. It has to be Gorilla Glue brand. I said, okay. So I went and found it, and it was like $15, I think. I think Lowe's sells it, or you can get it on Amazon. And I got it. I cut out just a little panel for the support side of my gun. I had a new gun I wanted to try this on. So I cut out a little, just a panel for the support side, and cleaned this all up with alcohol, and then peeled off the sticky part and stuck it on. And it was pretty stiff. It didn't really curve around the back of the gun very well. So I heated it up with a heat gun. When I say heated it up, I mean I got it hot. It was uncomfortably hot to hold this gun in my hands. And I smashed it round down in there really good. And then I heated it up again, used my thumb to really press down all of the edges and the corners. And then I heated it up again, and I kept pressing and I kept pushing. Like I think I did it like 3 or 4 times, to the point where I'm not sure if you can quite see it, but the grip, you can actually see the shape of the grip and the kind of the palm swell bulges that PDP has. You can see it through the shape, like through that panel. And it wrapped all the way around here, and these edges have, like, I've had this on there for 3 or 4 weeks now, and the edges have not peeled up at all. It's really good and sharp, so there's plenty of texture. I get plenty of grip and bite into my hand, which is what I want. But this was like a very low effort, easy to apply, kind of low commitment solution that has really done very, very well. Like this might become my go-to recommendation for people at work. I had a guy that I recommended this to message me today actually and said that he put it on his gun, this week, shot a match, and the amount of control he felt, like the amount of additional traction and connection he had to his gun was phenomenal. And he actually shot one of the best matches he's ever had. Like the hits were better, the points were better, because he just didn't have to think about trying to lock that hand on even harder to keep the gun from moving around. So this might become like my go-to recommendation for people at work, just because it's so easy, it's cheap. I haven't tried to remove it yet, so I suppose it could be permanent, but I kind of doubt it. It'd be like any other Stair-Tread tape. You want to take it off, you heat it up again, till the glue's good and soft, and then pull that off. Keep heating it up, use a degreaser or some other kind of cleaner and take all the glue off and the residue, and then it would be, good to go again. At least that's how I suspect it would work. But those are just some of the solutions I've explored over time with trying to add additional texture to the gun when I'm shooting. I have found that the easier it is to hold on to the gun, even with my support hand, the less tension I have, which makes it easier to pull the trigger straight, shoot it fast, and kind of concentrate on everything else. So if you've got any questions about this, leave them in the comments down below. If you've got questions about something else, I'd be happy to talk about it. I try to respond to all the comments. If it's something I can answer real quick, I'll just bang it out in the comments. If it's, something that needs a video, happy to do a video about it. So I hope this helps, guys. I really appreciate your time. Take care.
Hey, did you hit that subscribe button? Be a lot cooler if you did. Alright.